Well, good day everyone. Craig once again out on the Honda Goldwing, taking advantage of this beautiful day, Saturday, 76 degrees. Figured I'd get out and enjoy the day, ride around a little bit, and wanted just to share a thought with you, a question that I was asked by a friend of mine when he realized that I had a Honda Goldwing. Saw the bike, and one of the first things he said to me was, "So, are you going to Darkside that bike?" And me being new to the Goldwing environment, I had no idea what he was talking about. Darkside the bike. So went home and did some research and found out that darksiding is when you take a car tire and you add that, or you replace the motorcycle tire on the rear with a car tire. And so, you know, as I looked into it, and I'm sure that many of you, have heard about this subject before, a very controversial subject about whether a car tire belongs on a motorcycle. So, for what I was able to gather, the main benefit of Darksiding, using a car tire, is that ultimately you save money. So it appears you can get a car tire, I don't know, $100, $125, when it comes time to put a tire on. And then my understanding that motorcycle tires, I haven't had to buy one yet because I haven't been in a position where I have to replace my tire yet, or tires. I haven't been in that position yet. So I'm hearing they cost anywhere from $200 to $300 per tire. So naturally the car tire is much cheaper. So the main benefit being, well, if you could replace the motorcycle car with a car tire, you're paying, probably half the price of what you pay for a motorcycle tire. Also, the other additional benefit is, from what I can understand, on a typical motorcycle tire, depending on how you ride, you can get anywhere from 9,000 miles, maybe as high as 15,000 miles on a motorcycle tire before it needs to be replaced. Well, on a car tire, it seems that you can get, at minimum 45,000 miles. So you're replacing the car tire cheaper, and you're replacing it less often than what you would be replacing your motorcycle tire. So to me, the main benefit is cost. You're spending way less money because let's use 45,000 miles as a benchmark. You might have to go through three, and I'm just talking about the rear tire. I don't even know about the front tire, but let's talk about the rear tire. You might have to go through 3 motorcycle tires in 45,000 miles. So if they're $200 a piece, you're spending $600, and that's to drive 45,000 miles. If you're using a car tire, and you can get one car tire for $100, and you can use that for 45,000 miles, naturally you've saved yourself $500. Hopefully my math is not fuzzy math, but that's what I came up with. So financially, it's much cheaper to be able to use the car tire. Now, the drawbacks, from what I'm understanding, is there's just people that are not sold on the fact that a car tire belongs on a motorcycle. Naturally, motorcycle tires are, the edges, the bottom is rounded, so the motorcycle can lean. Because naturally on 2 wheels, when you're going around a curve, you have to lean the motorcycle. The motorcycle will go on the side of the tires, the sidewall, to some degree. Whereas the people that are anti-darksiding are saying that a car tire was never meant to lean in that manner. It was designed to be operated on like a vehicle that has 4 tires, and the amount of pressure that can be put on a sidewall, it wasn't meant for that. It's meant for some pressure, but not the amount of pressure that you would get from a motorcycle. So I don't know. I hear it back and forth. You really can get caught up in the whole debate. It appears that I haven't seen any documentation that says, okay, there were these many tire failures or accidents, and we attribute them to the fact that this person had a car tire on their motorcycle as opposed to a motorcycle tire. So really just gets down to your personal preference, what you want to do. So that's what I was left with. So taking all this into consideration, what I have decided was that I am going to stick with the motorcycle tire, at least for now. I always preface everything that I say that I say this today and can say something completely opposite tomorrow. But at least for today, I'm gonna, I don't see a move to a motorcycle tire. And another reason that I say that is by the amount of miles that I anticipate putting on this bike. So I live in the Northeast, so we have to put our bikes away during the winter naturally. We get, we just get our hopefully 4 to 5 months of riding before we have to put the bikes up. I was hoping, actually I've been doing pretty good this year. My goal this year was to get a total of 2,000 miles in on the motorcycle. And on this bike I have 1323, and then on my Valkyrie I've done probably 1,000 miles so far this year. So I've exceeded my goal of doing 2,000 miles a year, which is good. I wanted to be out, but now I'm thinking maybe I'll get, maybe a realistic amount, if I can do what I want to do, is about 5,000 miles per year. It was a good goal to get on the Goldwing. Let's put 5,000 miles a year, and for us 5,000 miles a year really is only 5,000 miles per summer, because again we're in the Northeast. So that being said, I should be able to get 2 to 3 riding seasons out of a tire, and I've made the determination I'm okay with that. If I can get 2 years, so to speak, out of a tire, or 3 years, 3 riding seasons out of a tire before I have to replace it, that's not bad, and I can deal with that. I'll deal with the expense of the tire. Now, I would say for those of you that live in the warmer states where you can ride year-round, and you might be in a position where you can put 10,000 miles on a year, or 8,000 miles on a year, I think Darksiding might be an option for you. Because if you are going through a set of tires every year, every riding season, or every year you're going through a set of tires, it might be cost effective for you to say, hey, you know what, I'm going to put a car tire on, because every 8 months I'm at the dealership paying for motorcycle tires and it's getting expensive. So I can see why you would do that. But I think for me in the Northeast, and I'm going to do some speculation here, I would say for a lot of us in the Northeast, because we cannot ride as many miles and we can't ride as frequently as our friends in the warmer states, I think we're okay with not having to Darkside. Now the handling is another thing. They'll get some people to say the car tire handles better than a motorcycle tire because you got more tread touching the ground. I don't know, maybe. I'm not that familiar and not that up to speed to say if the handling is better. I will say this though, I'm a believer, and I guess old school, or maybe just I bought into what the manufacturers are saying and doing. I'm a believer that if a car tire worked better on a motorcycle, then they would put a car tire on a motorcycle. I don't know, maybe I'm naive. You probably can tell me I'm naive. Maybe I'm naive about that. But I think if a car tire worked better, they would put it on a motorcycle. And the reason I say that is the Can-Ams, from what I understand, the 3-wheel, vehicles that have the 2 wheels in the front and the 1 wheel in the back, they are, I was told that the rear tire, I don't know if all of those are car tires, but I think the rear tire is a car tire. And they might all be car tires. But I look at that, machine as an example. At some point, they must have said, hey, this works better to have a car tire on this vehicle as opposed to having motorcycle tires on. So maybe it handles better, maybe because there's 3 wheels, or they need better traction. I don't know what the reason is, but they made the determination that a car tire is better than a motorcycle tire. So I'm going to stick with the motorcycle manufacturers for now and say that there's a reason that they're putting these motorcycle tires on as opposed to car tires. But again, maybe if I ever get up to the point where I'm doing so much traveling that it makes sense to try to Darkside, then I will do it. Maybe if I get to a point where motorcycle tires get so expensively outrageous that it makes no sense to pay 4 to 5 times the amount to get a motorcycle tire as opposed to a car tire, then I would do it. So, but as of right now, I'm not looking to Darkside. But again, I have no problems with people to do it. Tons of people do it, and I have not heard of any ill effects of people doing it. So anyway, thanks for listening to my rant about my lack of knowledge of Darksiding, and I hope you have a great day.